alarm bells should have rung immediately for Haryana when they realized that one university has 40 doctors from Kashmir in one place.
So that university should have never come up in the first place.
हाँ,
ठीक
अब
है?
पता लग रहा है कि उनका वो
And I can assure you there will be at least another 100 universities
Which are similar?
which should have never come up in the first place. But then you come to the intelligence success part and good policing. That
And here when I'm saying Kashmiris, I don't mean to stigmatize Kashmiris.
Of course.
No, because you see what Omar Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti are saying, that all Kashmiris are not terrorists. So don't say, don't do this, because now we will
Omar
start
Abdullah
doubting.
is saying the right thing.
Correct.
Mehbooba
But still-
Mufti is being disingenuous, and that is as simple as that. Now, what Omar Abdullah is saying, why I agree with Omar Abdullah, look, you have the Jammu and Kashmir police, predominantly Muslims, right, from the valley. They have been in the vanguard of this fight against terrorism. You cannot function. They are your eyes and ears. They, the kind of sacrifices they've made are second to none. So when you start stigmatizing everybody, I don't think, you are either being patriotic or being fair to
No,
people.
Sushant, what I'm
So
saying
to
is
that
that
extent,
जो
I
मैंने
agree
अभी
with.
जैसे कहा that there are 40 Kashmiri doctors in a hospital and a university in a remote Faridabad town in Haryana. Should the local Khabri network of Faridabad have kept them in focus a little bit?
Okay, so-
in one way, it is stigmatizing.
No,
कि ये कश्मीरी
no,
है
no,
तो इनको
okay,
क्यों?
so-
But
so-
I would think even if there are 40 Bengali or 40 Bihari doctors just in one university, you'd think that is there some connection? Why?
नहीं यार देखो, this is an ex post facto जो आप सोच रही हैं. So look, I'll say two things. One is on the intelligence success and good policing, that you catch hold of some. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
That certain posters had come up. There was a local police officer who said, "Yeah, this is happening after so much time. Let's investigate." And then you start unraveling the whole thing, and then everybody comes together, and the whole network starts unraveling, which is why it was a success. This bomb blast, in a sense, was an aberration. The success was that you seized everything. You ensured that plot never could go through. So that was it's a resounding success. And I think kudos to everybody who was involved in that. Now you come to the other thing of the Khabri network. Again, I don't know how much he will talk. That's the problem with these guys, These guys come and they don't talk. And this is my problem with Mr. Vikram Sood. I've known him for 25 years. He doesn't open his mouth. So, that's, I don't like him because of that.
Because there are enemies also watching,
No,
right?
yeah, I know. But, for us...
Curiosity.
हुआ क्या था exactly? What happened behind the scenes? But look, so here is the point. And this is a question, sir, please, to the extent you can answer this. See, I have often asked this question. And again, I'm not stigmatizing a community or anything. You could take it for any community.
Sure.
In Assam, you could take it, for people who might be Ulfa inclined. In Punjab, you could take it for the Khalistani lot. In rest of India, if you're looking at the Islamist networks or Islamist terrorism, jihadi terrorism, then you have to look at the Muslim community. And if there is some Hindu terrorist, by all means, go and check that. But the question which I ask is, what are the conversations which are taking place in a particular society, in a particular area? So, for example, if I'm talking about a university, there are kids, for example, in Aligarh Muslim University or Jamia Millia. Again, before people start throwing stones at you and me and him, that you are stigmatizing by naming certain universities, you can talk about JNU for all I care.
Yeah.
Right? And Delhi University, which is
Jadavpur.
my alma mater. But my point is that when students in these places are sitting, what are the conversations? When, say, 15 Muslim students are sitting in a room and they're talking about politics, about geopolitics, about strategy, about economics, what are they talking? What is triggering them? Do we know those conversations? Do we know how the brains are functioning in a madrasa or in a particular locality? What are people talking about? That will give you an idea of what might be happening in a particular place. And I know it's much easier for me to say this, but it's much more difficult when you have to start implementing it at the practical level. But until and unless you know this, you're always going to be surprised. How come so many doctors have got involved? Like the entire media is labeling this white-collared crime. What the hell do you mean by that? What was Shami Witness? You remember that guy who was doing all the propaganda for the ISIS techie from Bangalore who was caught? Engineer,
Yeah.
working in Google or something like that, some fancy bloody company.
So it's not new, you're saying?
So, look, the very poor people don't get involved in terrorism. They don't have the time. They don't have the luxury to get involved in terrorism. The people who get involved in terrorism are people with some means.
The earlier thing was
there is some education.
Gurbat itni hai, so
That's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. That poverty leads to terrorism. Poverty does not lead to terrorism. Was Osama bin Laden poor?
No.
Was Ayman al-Zawahiri poor? Was this guy Omar Saeed Sheikh of Kandahar, jisko choda tha, was he poor?
Yeah.
So this poverty business is utter nonsense, right? All of these excuses which are given is utter bullshit. These are covering fire. These are typical leftist way of looking at things. They were very poor, so they had no choice, so they took to guns. When Khalistani terrorism happened, was Punjab poor at that time?
No.
Wasn't Punjab the richest state in India? Was Kashmir poor when Kashmiri terrorism happened? Kashmiri lives had improved by leaps and bounds. So terrorism is not about poverty, it's not about economic factors. It has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा.
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है.
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दो?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब.
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप.
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI. It does not lie.